Hello everybody, Revolver Guy Prepping for Poor People. Just going to do a little video today. I have to go to work this evening, but I've been outside working. Been doing a little sweating. It is warm here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. It's warm, 84 degrees today. And that's about as warm as we get. We don't get too many days above that. Did just a little bit in the garden, just peeled around a little bit. I pretty much got the garden set. I want to do a video on that here soon to show you. I mean, the corn is tall as my head. It's 6 foot tall, and everything's just doing really great. Was able to harvest some lettuce here this weekend, and I mean, it's just that's the first time I've ever grown lettuce myself, and it's just crispy and fresh. Nothing like food from your garden. So I really encourage you to try it for yourself, even if it's just some small garden beds or whatever it is you want to do, whatever you have room for. But we really need to be doing this. I tell you, times are really changing. Things have just gone. It's like every day there's something else in the news, and like this whole mess in the Middle East. Of course, the whole World War III, and the whole mess is going to start in the Middle East. I think almost everybody will agree with that. Iran is they're playing their games. Of course, they shot down one of our drones, and they supposedly attacked tankers. I don't know if they've done that. They admitted to shooting down the drone, said it was in their airspace. But I have kind of a little conspiracy theory of my own. I don't know if it's true or not. But I look at things and I wonder why sometimes. Why do things happen the way they do? Years ago, well, Iran's been a problem for a while, but over the past decade or so, we've dealt with Iran, and then Iran would kind of calm down for a little while, and then North Korea would start up. We'd deal with them for a little bit, and then they would calm down, and then Iran would start up again. And it's like they take turns, almost like they're doing this on purpose. While we're fooling with Iran and then the whole world's distracted about that, what is North Korea doing right now? Well, what was Iran doing while we were distracted with North Korea just a year ago? I mean, I guess the conspiracy theory I have is I think that these two countries are proxies. I mean, there's no doubt they're backed by Russia and China, but I think they're proxies. I mean, neither one of these countries stand a chance against the United States. I mean, not even close. Iran knows that. Iran's always making threats. I guess a lot of it's just rhetoric, but when they're backed by Russia and China, I think they feel like they can, well, they're a lot stronger and they can do a little more. And it's almost like a game with Russia and China teaming up and using Iran and North Korea as their proxy war. If we destroy North Korea or Iran, what does China and Russia care? I don't really think they would do anything. I think they're using them as an excuse to attack the United States. So that when China and Russia attack the United States, we will retaliate against Iran and North Korea. So there's just a whole lot going on there. I saw today where some things have come out. They don't want to launch a large-scale strike on Iran. The United States does not want to start a war, which I think is smart. But now news is leaked where is a possibility that they're going to do a cyber attack or even a nuclear EMP on Iran. And I think you're kind of pushing it when you start doing things like that. We might as well just attack them, because a nuclear EMP on Iran is going to cause a lot of problems, and not that they have that much capability, but Russia and China surely do. And if they see us do that, they're going to be pretty quick to probably retaliate against us in some way, whether it be through a cyber attack or even an EMP attack. And an EMP or grid down situation is probably a worst case scenario for the United States. it would essentially send us back to the 1800s, and the problem with that is we're so crowded. There's so many people. We can't grow enough food with horse and buggy to feed 320 million people. Back then, people grew their own food. I mean, a majority of people lived out on a little farm, and they grew their own food, and a neighbor had a milk cow, and you shared in that, and it doesn't work like that anymore. The people in these cities would starve to death. The dirty water supply, and just all the things that we need to live. A lot of people will go down, and then the people such as myself who have moved out to a rural area, I'm pretty self-sustaining. I could make it good down. It'd be tough. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it'd be easy. It wouldn't. It'd be hard, but I could make it. I do grow a lot of my own food, and I've got firewood and things, and a lot of stuff I need. But it would be very hard, and then I would have to worry about looters and the hungry masses coming. Saw a video Pastor Joe Fox of Viking Preparedness put out about not to fear the starving masses, but I don't really agree with him. He's entitled to his own opinion. He's a great guy. I love his videos. I don't really agree with him on that part, though. When people get hungry, children get hungry, they get desperate. And desperate people do desperate things. And unfortunately, we've seen what people are capable of with Katrina and things like that. When the rule of law kind of goes away for a while, people they just go crazy. And especially when they're desperate and they don't have food or water. And, it just, I really think it'd be a mess, especially anybody close to a city. The further you are away, the better off you'll be. I have a really good neighborhood, really good neighbors and community here. I feel like we would do a pretty good job of defending our area and not allowing people in it. Thankfully, I live in a pretty rough, rugged terrain, so it's really hard for people to negotiate the area without, especially if you didn't know it, without staying on pretty much main roads. And that's a funnel, and that's a choke point for people coming, and that won't be good for them. So I pray that it never comes to that. It's because you're going to be seeing Americans turn against Americans. That's exactly what the elites want. That's what the globalists want. That's what Russia wants and China wants. They want us to turn against each other. Then they don't even have hardly lift a finger anymore. They can just sit back and watch this country implode. And I really believe that's what's going to happen. So we need to be ready. We need to be prepared. We need to have a way of heating our homes, cooking food, growing food, collecting food, defending ourselves. That's a very important one. Make sure you have firearms and plenty of ammunition. I'm not one that believes you have to have 10,000 rounds of each caliber, as a lot of people will say that. I think that notion is just silly. If I, God forbid, have to defend myself in a situation like that, and I live through it, there'll be plenty of firearms and ammunition laying on the ground to pick up. So like I say, this is just a big mess. Who knows what's coming next? It's just every day you hear something new. A lot of false flag stuff, a lot of things I don't trust. So who can really predict it? It's the way it is and the way it's been going. It's hard to tell what's true and what's not, and who's behind what. I wouldn't put it past one of our allies to do something. I wouldn't put it past Israel. Israel absolutely hates Iran. I wouldn't put it past them to be doing things to entice us to attack Iran. And unfortunately, I back up Israel biblically, but I don't back them up in everything they do, because I feel like a lot of what they do is against God. You know, you have to remember, a lot of them people aren't the biblical Jews that we remember. And so you just have to kind of keep watching, just keep an eye on it. It's real hard to see through some of the bull sometimes, but that's what we have to do. Uh, you got all these left wing fanatics. You know, they're constantly trying to get Trump. That's the only reason why I stood behind Trump as much as I have. I still don't stand behind him 100%, but there's got to be a reason why they don't want him there, and it's not because he hurt their little precious feelings. I don't think. But Trump's really letting me down. You know, this whole I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what kind of games he's playing. You know, this whole gun attack Iran, then call it off, and then gonna round up illegal immigrants with ICE this past weekend, then call that off. I don't really know what he's doing. I don't like it. I want a man that's going to make a decision and go with it, right or wrong. I mean, if it's wrong, it's wrong. But this going back and forth thing, I don't trust that. There's something about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm going to be watching for that and try to maybe do a video here sometime if I can ever find out any information about it. Because I try to keep everything as factual as I can. Like I said, this thing about Iran and North Korea and the games they play, that's a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I don't know if that's really what's going on. It just seems strange that one does it for a while and then the other does it, and we keep shifting our focus and our attention back and forth. I really believe that China and Russia are the ones that are going to give them this nuclear technology to attack us with. And I'm really afraid it's not going to be just a couple of nuclear missiles hitting large cities. I think they're going to be an EMP type attack that takes down a big majority of the grid in this country and causes chaos like never seen before. So like I say, stay prepped. Keep working a little bit every day if you can. Thank you for watching. Try to share this video if you could. And like I said, YouTube's kind of cutting anybody that doesn't have the hard left-wing liberal base. They're really cutting people back. So let's try to do all we can to spread the word for everybody to be prepared and everybody to be ready. And remember, all gun laws are unconstitutional.